Hello, wonderful people. I did a garden tour a couple days ago, but I didn't take you inside my tunnel. We are going to do that today because there is a lot to say about it. The tunnel has a lot of problems, and it had a lot of problems last year. So I'm going to take you in, show you what I have growing, and what my plan is to fix it. Come on in. I'm going to briefly talk about what happened in the tunnel last year. I was given advice when we built these beds to fill the bottom with sticks and leaves, and then a combination of topsoil, peat moss, and composted cow manure. Now, I took that advice, and it was unfortunate that the composted cow manure was not fully composted, and it pretty much burned everything. And then the peat moss made everything so acidic that the plants could not take nutrients up out of the soil. I am grateful that we were able to fix that with rabbit manure to balance the pH and with wood shavings to bring in the extra fungi to be able to break down the cow manure. We did get a harvest last year, but we didn't even get our first tomato until about August. Now that being said, let me give you a tour of what we have growing and tell you what happened this year. So, you have one slicer that a friend gave me. It's doing really nice. It's coming out the side there. It's setting fruit, and it definitely seems the least affected. You see this big crack in the stem? We're going to address that. Everything in here, paste tomatoes, peppers, and I have a few things like this is Malabar spinach. It's loving the heat. It's doing great. You can see all of these tomatoes are all my paste tomatoes. And they are setting fruit. Not nearly at the rate they should be setting fruit. These are orange icicle and Amish paste. I have a few brassicas I popped in, but this tunnel is so humid they're not liking it at all. Another Malabar spinach that just loves this heat. I interplanted some carrots. They're not happy with the humid heat either. Had all of this was beans. I have pulled a lot of the beans out and planted cucumbers. Some because the bush beans were just done. Some of the pole beans were not producing, and we're going to talk about why. So if you see the curled leaves and this very gnarly looking growth, this is herbicide damage. It's in the compost that I top dressed with. You can see they're making beans, but not nearly the amount they should be for how many plants are here. We cannot come out here and even pick enough for dinner, and therefore it just isn't a good use of this space. Got my baby brassicas here. These over here in the back are very happy. Got some purple sprouting broccoli. This is going to go out soon. This is going to go outside of the tunnel, so I do have to harden it off. Got more tomatoes, paste tomatoes. They're all getting there. We're going to get something. These are potatoes that got left in the ground by accident. I've got more bell peppers. All the peppers in here are bell peppers. And I think these are russet potatoes that are popping up. It's okay, we'll let them grow. A purple basil. Some more peppers and they're struggling. These beans in the back, I was just checking the soils while I planted them. And the spinach reseeded for me, so that's wonderful. And then all these tomatoes here in the front, these are mostly snacking tomatoes for the kids to enjoy. We have some cherries, some yellow pear, and some Brad's Atomic Grape. Hey everyone. Okay. So we are going to talk about this tunnel. Now, I briefly explained to you what happened last year with our soil, what happened this year with our soil. So my plan is to get as much beneficial fungi and bacteria in here as I can. I'm going to do that through compost tea, and our rabbits use a wood chip litter, so that will help bring in the fungi. Now I'm going to then support those fungi with this. These are cell salts. Cell salts are a homeopathic remedy. There are 12 cell salts. I have just a blend of all 12, but you can buy them individually. Now, cell salts are commonly used in a lot of gardening when you're treating something like blossom end rot, or if you're treating stress from frost or transplanting, or stress from heat, like when my tomatoes stop setting fruit when it's above 90 degrees, I'll treat with cell salts and they'll start setting fruit again even while it's still really hot and humid. So the cell salts are going to help support that beneficial bacteria and that fungi in that network. Now what I have noticed is I planted radishes in the outside bed, and when I pulled them I put beans in their place just because our beans have been not producing well because of the contaminated soil. So I'm trying to plant as much as I can, and beans do grow fast. But what I noticed was where I put the beans, same beans as in here, when I put them in the soil that had previously had the radishes, they look a lot better. They have a tiny bit of leaf curl, but not much. So what I'm also going to do in here and in that one outside bed that got that bad compost is cover crop, but I am going to take the cover crop out and get rid of it. I'm not going to work it into the soil like you would typically do with like a green manure or cover crop. So what I'm going to do is probably do, since the radishes work so well for me, I'm going to get a cover crop radish. And cover crop radishes are considered like till radishes. They're like those big, giant, like daikon radish, and they work the soil really well. I am going to try and put as much of that as I can in the bed. I'm also going to do peas and oats. Now, both probably won't last the winter. The peas might do okay, but they probably won't last through the winter. But the radishes will. I can do the radishes over the winter to fix my soil for next year. And the radishes too, I'm going to support with cell salts. So beneficial bacteria and compost tea, cover crop, and I'm going to support all of it with cell salts to make it as healthy as possible. Because something I'm noticing with the tomatoes and the potatoes is they have, and it's not an over amount of nitrogen. I tested the soil before I planted it this spring. They seem to be trying to almost like run away from the soil. They shoot up real far to try and almost throw their seed to get it out of this contaminated soil. It's unfortunate. You put mulch in your dump truck? That's fantastic. You keep doing that. I will help you when I'm done talking. So the tomatoes in here are setting fruit, and we are going to get a little something from them, but not as much as we should be getting. So this whole herbicide thing, it's happened to a lot of people. It's happened to a lot of YouTubers. It's happened to a lot of people all over the world. And I know that the term conspiracy theory is being thrown out there. Personally, I think there's a little bit of truth to every conspiracy theory. But even if it's not a conspiracy theory, if it's not this has been done on purpose, then it's been done out of pure stupidity. And I was talking to Janelle about this, and she made the fantastic point that both of them, regardless of which one it is, they both would need to be addressed. So I would like to think that the human beings that I live with on Earth are not completely stupid like that, do not have that level of stupidity. But if they don't, then they very maliciously did this on purpose. And I don't think it's the company's fault. I don't think it's any of the compost company's fault. I think it's a problem from the sourcing. Whatever got sourced somehow got sprayed. Probably it was an animal fodder, so it wasn't really looked at super carefully. Went through the animals, was given to the compost company, and then they made compost and gave it to me, gave it to other people. And now we all have these problems in our gardens, which is, the garden holds so much value, especially in times like this where the prices of everything are so expensive. Not just the prices of food, but the prices of all things. The price to survive right now is really, really expensive, and it makes the home garden all that more valuable. When you're having problems like this, it's even more a knife to the gut. It's even more hard than it would be if it were. And it is hot. It is July. Everyone's hot and sweaty and coming out here and doing garden work all day. It's hard on your heart, but I really have a passion for this, and I want to make this work in my heart so badly. I want to be able to do this. I want to learn how to do this, and you can only learn how to do something by doing it. You can do research, but at some point you have to just do it. So I'm going to let you guys watch a hyperlapse of me spraying this tunnel with cell salts. Now, one thing I want to say about cell salts, you are supporting bacteria. Therefore, you want to have the bacteria already present. So I already sprayed this tunnel with compost tea, and now I'm going to spray it with the cell salts. You're going to do about 12 to 16 cell salts per liter, not gallon, liter of water. It's recommended when you use cell salts that you don't use anything else the week you do it, so like 7 days. Because you have to remember, homeopathy works on frequency, so you have to kind of give it a chance. You're not going to see an instant result the next day. You're going to see it in about a week. So it's helpful to not try and change that frequency, and let that beneficial bacteria and that fungi and the plants really take hold of what you've done. And one thing I am trying to do is I'm trying to do this on a scale that doesn't cost a ton of money. That doesn't go, oh, we'll just replace all your soil. Oh, this is $12 and there are 100 tablets in here. You could treat a very big garden with that. And compost tea. So I get my compost tea from Lotus. It is a garden supply store near us. They have a couple locations in South Carolina. But I mean, it's $8 a gallon, and a gallon can pretty much do my entire garden. Not quite the whole thing, but definitely where I have contaminated soil. You're talking $20. $20 to try and fix your soil to get a whole lot of food. That can be worth it. So that is one thing that we're really trying to help convey. Like, I can't make compost tea myself. I don't have the money to go buy all the things. I don't have the means to make the aerator and everything. And if you buy a kit, it's only that much more expensive. So we are really trying, me and Janelle, to show people how to garden and not break the bank. And that is all the more important in this time, in this age, and where we are in our society right now. I see you dug those holes. There's some nice holes. So I wanted to say, this is a Ryobi sprayer. We have a lot of Ryobi stuff. My husband bought this. It's very convenient. Little comes off, sprays. And this is a 7.5 liter tank. I have not filled it up all the way. I put 60 cell salts in, and I only filled it up to 5 liters.
something else I'm going to spray is some of the suckers I pulled off that are over here, and some of the plants that were in the high tunnel, in the contaminated soil that I brought and moved over here. Hey everybody, it's later in the day. I wanted to just finish my thoughts. So I just finished spraying this whole tunnel, and I'll keep you guys up to date on everything, how it's looking, how it's coming along, and what actually happens from it. I will link a lot of the homeopathy that I've mentioned down in the description below. Having a passion to learn is what gets us through hard times. Thank you for letting me share my passion with you. We'll catch you on the next